Hey, welcome
Hey,
to JH Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny, and I am here with Dan Pontarlier, who is originally from Barcelona and now lives in France, where he is speaking from now on Zoom. Today, he's going to talk to us about his entrepreneurial activities, his consulting, and how to integrate sustainability with fashion. How are you, Dan?
hey guys, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
of you to
fine,
be
thank you.
here.
Thanks.
How's France?
It's cold, unfortunately. Now I don't know what's going on, but we're in the middle of June, and it's not like the perfect weather yet. So, and there are still people saying that climate change doesn't exist.
Uh,
So,
I can't believe it.
yeah,
It's not the perfect year.
yeah, but it's okay. It's okay though. We're gonna manage. We're arriving to the summer.
Nice. Awesome. So listen, I have some questions. How did you start with your sustainable life, and what does it really mean to be sustainable for you?
Well, actually, some years ago, I was working as a marketing manager for a hotel, and I wanted to keep on studying, and I wanted to do a PhD. So in order to get there, I was lacking some credits, so I decided to do a master that, popped out. That was sustainable tourism and information and communications technologies. I had no idea about sustainability in that moment. In fact, I thought that sustainability was something related with a green meadow with cows, and that was all. And afterwards, I realized about the real implication of sustainability in society and economy, etc. So I started when I was studying this master. In fact, I quit my position as a marketing manager in the hotel I was working at, and I decided to become a consultant in sustainability. In fact, I wanted to stop working for a while, but just in 1 month, I got an offer for the Barcelona Hotel Association. So I started to use my knowledge in hospitality, in the hospitality industry, and my new knowledge in sustainability in order to try to improve the sustainable commitment of the hospitality sector in Barcelona. And at the same time, I was starting to be more committed to sustainability too, not just in my work, but also in my personal life. So yeah, that was it. That's when I started to do that. Actually, and regarding the second question, what it actually means to be sustainable or to act sustainably, I would say that it's actually just being concerned about how things that you buy, for example, are being created, manufactured, how people is treated in the places that are, in those places where they're working for those companies, etc. It's just taking into consideration the general impact that a business has in environmental, social, and economic terms.
And in terms of your consulting and what you do with sustainability, can you explain like where you do it only with clothing, hospitality?
Yeah, I do several. I do several things. So, I just quit teaching. I've been teaching for 6 years in several business schools, and actually yesterday was my last day because I want to focus myself on my business. Otherwise, it's complicated to have enough time and have mental health with your leisure correct and everything. So what I'm doing nowadays is I have my own personal brand, which is Dan Pontarlier, and myself, I do consulting for fashion brands or brands in the hospitality industry. So I'm able to improve their level of commitment to sustainability, improving their operations and everything, the different departments that they have. And besides that, I started to have a good following in social media. So people is following me, I guess, for the tattoos, the aesthetics, and the message that I'm sharing also, because it's always regarding sustainability. So I'm using that to promote sustainable brands in my, the brands that I love, what they are actually doing, because being like influencer is not my job. Right. I do some other things. And then I'm a partner in digital strategies for the Ethical Brand Directory in London. What we do is trying to increase the level of commitment to sustainability in fashion brands, and also trying to boost boost and empower female lead brands, in the UK and Europe in general. And this is regarding the fashion industry. And then regarding the hospitality industry, I'm the co-founder of the European Sustainable Hospitality Club. And what we do there, it's a little bit more similar to the Ethical Brand Directory. What we're trying to do is increase the level of commitment that the hospitality sector has in Europe. So that's
wow, that's no, I understand why you quit the teaching.
yeah, because it's too much already.
Oh my God. No, I would explode. But for instance, companies like Jason Hyde, we use recycled and organic packaging. Do you think it's important or as well, or just the product and how it's created that matters?
No, it's super important to use the products or materials, raw materials, as sustainable as possible. I think that nowadays we are, I mean, I wrote the other day in my blog about that but we are in a year 2020 already, we're making like, let's say, organic cotton shirts. It's not viable anymore. You know, this is the basic of the basics. You need to upcycle, you need to recycle, you need to try to make even a better impact in the environment than the one that you're doing. I mean, if you say that you're sustainable because you're doing organic cotton t-shirts, I'm sorry, but that's greenwashing. That's not the truth. So you need to have an extra commitment on that. And I think that's really, really important to be able to recycle, to be able to, well, because what you're doing in Jason Hyde is something that I love, is picking up this trash and creating something new from that, you know, and sharing that message to the people. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's not your task to pick up that trash from those places, obviously, because I mean, you're a business at the end of the day, but you are doing a good and great impact on the environment. And at the same time, you are creating awareness.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, is there any tips you can give companies or people nowadays, and the things that are like things that you do where you upcycle your old rags, your tablecloth?
Yes, for example, I mean, what I'm wearing right now, this is not a tablecloth, but the white parts that I have on this all belongs to parts of t-shirts, old t-shirts that you cannot wear anymore because they are damaged already. I bought this fabric, this one here, actually, it's both. I mean, it's the trousers and it's the shirt.
It's incredible.
I bought that when I was traveling this past January in Guadeloupe in the Caribbean. And I bought it from a local source because I wanted to create like something that reminded me to those holidays in that place. So I did that. And for example, another project that I have right now, it's creating for my sister. She's not gonna listen to that, so it's a present, so it's good.
Good.
I'm creating with tablecloths a skirt for her. Those tablecloths, they belong to my mother. She was the one that embroidered them manually and everything, because she was a seamstress back in her days, and she passed away. Well, my mother and my father both passed away 2 years ago, so it's going to be a great present for her to be able to see a skirt really well constructed, made by something that belonged to my mother. You know, so that's something good. Another thing that I created also, that I don't have it handy right now, but if you go to my Instagram, you're going to find it. If you just scroll, I have a picture with an over shirt in black with some white flowers printed, and a short also, which is the same kind of print. And they both, it's what you were saying before, it was a tablecloth that my mother used in the main room when we were eating. And I converted that into an outfit because, I mean, I'm not going to throw it, and I'm not going to use it in my house. So I have to do something out of it. And I thought that will look cool. And it actually looks cool.
Incredible. You really, you take things that are very emotional to you.
Yeah.
And you create beautiful clothing, and they're all upcycled.
Something that I believe in is that if anytime you bought something, a piece of clothing or anything, is because you like that, so it has an emotional attachment. Sorry, I'm Spanish. So
no, of course.
I don't know. There is something that attracts you from that thing. So why are you going to throw it if you can improve it somehow? Or for example, I have a suit that I wore when I was doing my communion. Do we say communion in English?
Yeah, first communion.
Yeah, the first communion. And I mean, it doesn't fit anymore for obvious reasons, but I can cut it down. I already made a design to cut it down into pieces and to reattach it in a different way so I can make something out of that. I'm going to show you that also.
Wow.
finished. But it's a project. I like to do this kind of stuff because first of all, I'm not throwing anything. Then I'm generating job because I'm giving this to a freelance couturière, seamstress that lives in Barcelona. That I started working with her because she was doing like little improvements at the beginning, but she's amazing. So I'm able to work with someone, and to provide job to someone that, I'm not going to say that she is in risk of social exclusion, but she has kids, she's a single mother, and she needs resources. So I'm happy that I'm able to improve someone's life, even if it's just one person for now.
I know, and you're making a better impact in the environment for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people in general, in the community.
Yeah, exactly. So I prefer to pay 50 quid to that person to do my pants that are going to be personalized and customized, and nobody else are going to wear them because they're unique pieces. You cannot duplicate them.
So you're taking the whole suit from the first communion and you're creating. Yeah. What are you creating? You're creating.
What I'm going to create, it's a summer suit. So instead of with long sleeve, it's going to be short sleeve, but open, and it's going to be a short also on the pants. So the last part, first, I can use it to also put it here, so I can stretch it a little bit more and I can make it bigger. So it's just construction.
It's just designed it yourself?
Yeah. I'm not a designer whatsoever, and this I designed it myself too. But I always like design. I want.
Oh, that looks great. That looks insane.
Well, thank you. It looks like a cook actually, but it's nice anyways. And I wanted to study design when I was 18, but I'm coming from a low income family, so I wasn't able to do that because it was very expensive. Fortunately, I'm able to speak 6 languages, so that's the reason why I decided to jump into tourism at the beginning, because I said, okay, I'm living in Barcelona. I speak several languages. I'm going to make money here.
Which languages do you speak?
Well, English, French, Italian, Spanish, Catalan. It's a language.
Molt bé.
Very good. And I'm learning Dutch because my partner is Belgian, Flemish. So I'm learning Dutch. And I speak a little bit of Russian also. But I understand it better than...
Хорошо.
Yeah. Как дела?
Немножко.
Very good. Well done. I love languages. I always loved it.
Yeah, me too. It's very nice.
I don't know if you see it there.
You have a tattoo in Russian?
Yeah, that says terpenia. And that says, this says mужество.
What does that mean?
Patience and courage.
Nice. No, definitely it's a plus to have all those tattoos. They look very nice.
Yeah, thank you. It's for me, my body is my canvas, and I like art a lot. And that's what I like design, I like art, I like everything. Yeah. Architecture. So I think that's the reason why you're always trying to go towards the special thing. And many of my friends are tattoo artists. My best friend, Kike Esteras, he's one of the most recognized tattoo artists in Spain. He has a special way of doing tattoos, and a lot of people is going to him to teach him. And his wife, Anna, he's a great friend of mine too, and she's my tattoo artist. In fact, she did this.
Wow. It's
and
a butterfly.
This one's here. Yeah.
Incredible, no?
Oh, thank you.
But and did you go into fashion for yourself or for others out there?
I went
the sustainability of the fashion.
I went it for myself. In fact, my Instagram started to work very well, and several brands approached me to say if I could promote their products. And I was like, no. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you're not sustainable. You're damaging the world. You're going against the message that I'm trying to share here. So what's making you think that I'm going to promote you? And the thing into fashion, as I said before, I always liked fashion. So for me, it was kind of easy to switch. I never went there because I never thought that I was good or that I was going to make a difference or that anything was going to work out. And right now that I'm able to do, and I'm able to spend a little bit more of time of the things that I want. If you see here, this thing here, it's a composition that I'm doing with a jacket and some feathers and stuff like this. So, I love to do stuff. So I jumped into fashion for myself because I love that. And specifically into sustainable fashion, because after studying sustainability, I even quit my job as a marketing manager because I wanted to dedicate myself to do something that was worthy for society and for environment. So that's the reason why I decided that I was going to step into fashion, but only into sustainable brands and working with them and trying to improve the ones that are not. Whenever a company contacts me and they want me to promote the brand and I see that they're not sustainable, I say, okay, there's no way I'm going to promote you, but I can help you. Okay. If you want to improve your level of, in that moment, some of them, they have replied and they say, yes, please. And that's wonderful. But some of them, they disappear. Like,
wow. No, and what do you think are some like red flags from companies that you wouldn't advertise in your consulting or in Dan Pontarlier?
Mostly is, do you mean like promoting them or helping them to be more sustainable?
Like when a company approaches you to promote them and you say that they're not sustainable enough, what are some things that are not sustainable from that company?
First of all, sometimes I say it because there is a lack of transparency and I'm asking questions, direct questions regarding sustainability about procedures, operations, location of the factories, work condition, etc. And they elude some answers. So I address them directly once again, and if they don't reply, it's like, okay, it's quite obvious that you are not actually engaged. Not being transparent doesn't mean that you are not sustainable. It's just maybe you are not being aware that it's important that you undisclose, we say in English, or disclose.
Disclose?
Like you open the transparency of your numbers. And disclose maybe. Well, I don't know, sorry, but you understand all that.
No,
you need to show what you do. You need to show your operations, who are your partners and stuff like this to see that you're actually operating correctly. I understand that sometimes brand, they don't think it's relevant to show and showcase what they're doing. But nowadays it is, because there are a lot of consumers that they're starting to not just focus on sustainability and only buy sustainable products, but they are even able to boycott brands that are not supporting sustainability somehow. And I understand it because it's the world that we're living in. And you cannot fuck it up. Sorry.
No, totally. No, that's crazy. So some brands are boycotting the ones that are just.
No, customers are boycotting brands that are not being sustainable. Because it's normal, because people day after day, they are more engaged with sustainability. The search engines like Google or Bing have seen like an increase of a 90% of search regarding how to live a sustainable lifestyle or how to, So that means that actually in society, there is a change of mindset and people are starting to evolve. So people are starting to question themselves many things, not just regarding food, not just regarding clothing, but regarding many of the things that they do in their daily habits, cosmetic, products, services that they're using, everything. And it's good because, you should know the answers to what you're having, to what you're getting,
No, totally. No, in the last podcast that we had, our guest said that we are in a sort of throwaway culture where we finish something and we just throw it away. No,
yes.
And you mentioned to me a couple of days ago that you, of course, you upcycle and recycle everything you do.
Yes,
and it's
exactly.
Incredible.
Maybe it's because I'm coming from low-class family, and that's the reason why I've been always teach to do that. But we got used, and that's really wrong, to fast fashion in a way that nowadays you buy a shirt, it gets broken over here it just need a couple of threads or you know what I mean? People just buy another one. Why? Because it's €2 in Primark, because it's £1, because it's $1. Okay. First of all, we cannot blame everyone that goes to this kind of stores. There is people that they are not able to buy anything else because they don't have resources, and something that sometimes economic resources. Okay, and something that I say many times is that behind a piece of clothing that is cheap, there are two poor people: the one that is producing that shirt and the one that is buying it. Okay. Because if you're buying that shirt for $1 imagine how much the person that made that shirt in the sweatshop or the factory in Asia, India, or any other country, how much they got? Like 2 cents, 3,
Yeah, nothing.
1. Does it even one count for something? So I mean, there's something wrong there. But we cannot blame. Listen, we can blame people, of course, but we cannot blame everyone. Yeah, of course, we cannot blame everyone going to Primark, because there is many people that they cannot afford it. Then there is other people that they can afford to go a little bit more sustainable and try to invest in pieces of clothing, but they don't be okay. So if they don't care about it, then it's complicated, because how are you going to be able to change their mindset? Communities, countries, other people, we need to create awareness. We need to boycott whenever it's necessary.
Companies like Zara, like Zara.
Yeah, I don't want to name names, but yes.
No, yeah, like fast fashion.
Yeah, fast fashion industry, Inditex, H&M, Primark. I mean, H&M, Primark. I think there was a campaign called Primark Cares. Primark Cares. Are you kidding me? Are you seriously? Are you for real? Are you pulling my leg? Do you think that I'm going to fall on that? H&M also, the eco-conscious collection. So you have a collection that is eco-conscious, and the other one you're exploiting kids.
No, it's
right in Vietnam. It doesn't make any sense, you know. And I don't want to be controversial. I like to sometimes, but it's disgusting, because there are so many brands that are trying to do things correctly, and they don't get the attention that they need. And then we have reports like the one for the fashion revolution saying that H&M is the brand that is more transparent, and which is not incorrect. It's correct. It might be the most transparent, but do you think that we need to give them the visibility and say that, when there are some other brands that maybe they are more sustainable, and just because they don't know how to be more transparent, they are not getting any kind of attention, and we are still promoting and saying that, and media everywhere saying H&M is sustainable, because some people think, if they're transparent, maybe they're sustainable. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that it's transparent, but maybe if you don't explain it the correct way, it gets misunderstood.
No, yeah, it's sort of like these big companies like H&M and Primark, and it's more like they're using the sustainability collections as a trend. And
greenwashing. For me, it's greenwashing.
Exactly.
Manipulating the consumer to make them think that you're actually changing or trying to do something that you're actually not. Mm-hmm. And I'm #sorry, not sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, it pisses me off.
No, of course, you have the right.
Because they have them, you know, small brands, maybe it's different, but big and SME, we say in English, small and medium companies, they don't have sometimes the possibility, but big corporations, they have it. So it's hard to see how small and medium sized companies are struggling to go towards the standards of sustainability, while the others are not doing anything or are doing just the minimal when they could do more. So there is one thing that is, equity, that there has to be a little bit of balance.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
No, and can I ask why you started teaching about sustainability? It's like you've always wanted to be a teacher, or
No, I know. Actually, I never wanted to be a teacher. But when I actually, it was randomly, it happened randomly. A friend of mine needed external speaker to come to one of their classes to talk about sustainable tourism. And I was working for the Barcelona Hotel Association in that moment. So I just went there and I did the presentation, and it was good. And I said, well, maybe I can do something else. They contacted me from that business school. And they said if I wanted to do one course, so I did it, and it went well. And then a teacher that I had, I just had finished this second master, and a teacher that I had there brought me through LinkedIn and said, hey, can you talk? This is my number. Please call me. And I said, okay. So I called her, and she said, well, I'm going to be direct with you. I mean, you're the best student that I ever had, and I'm pregnant, so I need someone to replace me.
No.
And I was like, are you talking to me? I mean, actually, I did quite well in that second master, and everybody kind of remember me. But
nice.
Because I was living it. It was my passion. It was sustainability.
Yeah, of course.
I discovered a new world, so that's the reason why I was doing pretty good. Not because I'm a know-it-all spoiled brat.
No, no.
You know, just because of that, I was really passionate about it, and I got really, really high degrees and mentions, honorific mentions. So yeah, and that's how it started. And afterwards, another business school, and so, sometimes just because I like teaching sustainability, and I like many students that I have afterwards told me I never knew anything about sustainability, and now you've changed my life. So this is more than satisfactory for me. But the thing is that nowadays I cannot manage it anymore. So
how did you learn about all these things about sustainability? Like, did you learn anything new while you were teaching or before in hospitality? Or?
You learn continuously because learning, it's a continuous development and improvement all the time. But I started to learn about sustainability when I did this second master, which was sustainable tourism and information and communications technologies. So in that moment, that's when I started to apply sustainability to tourism and hospitality. And afterwards, I said, okay, sustainability can be applied to any area of your life. So let's be sustainable everywhere. That's when I, really started.
No, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
No, and what's one lesson you can leave for like the next generation? I know right now my generation is very open-minded when it comes to sustainability, and we really want to help the environment. But is there anything you can leave for?
I mean, we have to be conscious all the time, and we need to be aware that we are not the only ones in this world. I mean, and we are not the only species in this world. We have to share it with some others, and we need to be respectful. We are the thinking ones, and sometimes it doesn't look like it, and that's a shame. So that's the reason why we need to be able to do something that it's maintained. I think that our generations right now, the best thing that we can do is keep on focusing on sustainability that way that we are doing, keep on calling out companies that are not doing the things correctly. So hopefully we arrive to a moment where all companies in the world are really committed, all humans in the world are really committed, but it's going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of awareness, teaching, so we need a lot to do that. It's complicated, and it's sustainability, as I said, is not just environment, it's society also. It is really sad that in 2020 you still cannot go out to the street and identify yourself as non-binary or genderless, gender neutral, or gay or lesbian, or whatever you want to identify yourself, just because you are afraid and because you're scared that someone is going to pick on you because of that. So social sustainability is super important also nowadays too. And that's it. It's what we have to work on to spread that message and to be able to carry on with the world in a better way that we did before.
That's the best message you could have given us. No, really. No, and is there anything you're trying to leave behind for people to remember you by, like with your company?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to be, with the European Sustainable Hospitality Club, which is my baby. I created it. I'm the founder. I would really like to see it getting into a place where where we are. Sorry, I lost the track of a message pop up, and I lost the track of the.
No, it's fine.
What was I replying to?
To like, what are you going to leave behind for people?
Yeah, exactly. So something that I'm really glad about the European Sustainable Hospitality Club, coming back to that track, is that we are able to create something that is going to help people and companies that have no idea about sustainability in the hospitality industry. So the mark that we're living there is creating a community for people to help each other and for companies to be aware that sustainability is not a trick, that sustainability is not complicated, and that there are so many things that you can do by yourself and you don't need to hire expensive consultants to do that. What we want to do is actually create this awareness and willingness from the companies to learn by themselves and to improve by themselves the company that they are managing.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
No, see, that was amazing.
I think in many languages at the same time, so sometimes...
No, I understand.
To explain myself.
No, and just, one final question. I should have asked this before, but what do you think are some biggest inspirations for you, and how maybe people can also find easier way to be sustainable from your inspirations?
I mean, there are many. I have many different kind of inspirations. Drag culture, even if you don't believe it, there are huge upcyclers. You know,
Drag,
they upcycle drag culture,
DRAG.
like drag queens. Yeah, drag queens, drag kings, hyper kings, club kids. I started to do stuff like this because I love it. I watched a TV show from the States called RuPaul's Drag Race since its beginning. And I realized that they do a lot of upcycling. And it's something that it's also nowadays, even though in my family it was a thing to do upcycle, nowadays I think it's still more attached to me, and many people are starting to do that watch this kind of shows, because they realize that with pieces they have home, they can recreate and do something better instead of throwing them. So that's for me, that's like a really big inspiration regarding sustainability. Also because they bring killing looks sometimes too, and I know that many designers they inspire themselves in drag queens for creating new collections.
Wow!
Because sometimes the outfits that they bring to the runway, they're over the top. So that's for me, that's a great inspiration. On the other hand, I have academic writers also. I started a PhD in sharing economy in the accommodation industry, so hospitality, regarding Airbnb, etc. But I quit the PhD because there were already a lot of investigations there. So I read. Even though I had to do hospitality, I was interested in fashion. So I went to read while I was doing the PhD at the beginning a little bit some of the authors regarding sustainable fashion. And for example, Lucy Siegel, she's great. I read her book, To Die For, and she's part of the documentary, if I'm not confused, The True Cost in Netflix that you can find along with Livia Firth and Ursula de Castro. Okay, and for me, these three women are one of the most inspiring ones too regarding sustainable fashion. I just started to learn sustainable fashion with them.
So it's a movie, it's a book and a movie about...
There is a documentary from the three of them. I think it's the three of them, at least Olivia Firth and Ursula de Castro for sure, that it's called The True Cost. And you can see that documentary in Netflix, for example. And then there is a book that one of my students gifted to me when she finished the thesis, because I was supervising her thesis, Paloma. And the name of the book, it's called To Die For. And the author is Lucy Siegel. So this is another book that it's really interesting because it explains many things regarding sustainability. And it's the first book that I read regarding sustainable fashion.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's
so
amazing.
Those are my inspirations.
Perfect. No, yeah. To Die For and True Cost.
Yep.
Okay. No, well, listen, thank you very much for today. And
thanks to you.
for coming, really, for being on Zoom with us from France. Dan Pontarlier, everybody, go check him out at your Instagram, Dan Pontarlier.
Ouais, De Pontarlier.
De Pontarlier. Perfect.
De Pontarlier. Or however it's pronounced in English, sorry.
No, that's the correct pronunciation, no, French.
Perfect.
And the website, if you can clarify.
It's www.danpontarlier.com.
Perfect.
And you have my blog. And
please go check him out, his blog, his company, his consulting. And check out Jason Hyde, jasonhyde.com, and our Instagram, Jason Hyde World, where we create watches and jewelry made out of sustainable materials. And hopefully up to Dan Pontarlier's expectations.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It was
Thank you
great.
very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Bye-bye.